looks to be in 28th place right now with 81 Open Series points. So this is actually a pretty important weekend for him. You take a look at the players ahead of him. Let's say Lowry were to spike this tournament and get 20 Open Series points. That would push him up to 101. All of a sudden, he's in 19th place.
Right in the mix. Thomas Cryder there with a Columbus Blue Jackets sweater on. Probably a local, as that is the local professional hockey team.
Awesome.
We had a great time there the last time we were in Columbus.
Yeah.
They were on the road yesterday, so we couldn't catch them.
We run so bad. A Frontier bivouac here from Lowry. Let's make it 2. Both players just going to play some lands to get the party started here. Let's see who's going to have the actual first play, though. It looks like it's going to be Cryder. Cryder will play a copy of Herald of Torment, so he's going to the skies.
Slow opening here for Thomas, unfortunately for him. A bunch of 1-drops in this list. Bloodstone Champion and Herald of Torment, Spiteful Return. He's missed them all. Rakshasa Death Dealer, which unclear if he didn't draw or simply can't cast.
Lowry just going to play a third line, pass the turn back. Trigger there from the Herald is going to bring Cryder down to 19, of course. I'll see what he's able to put together. There is an Urborg. This is a bunch of mana, and we have ourselves a Whip of Erebos, a very popular card in mid-range decks, making an appearance here.
And Thomas's list more mid-rangey than Black Aggro. He's going all the way up to Siege Rhino. There's also only 1 copy in the list, so this is a fun of.
Lowry going to play a Boon Satyr and a turn. He does have 3 copies of those in his deck. There's Yavimaya Coast. Let's see what the follow-up's going to be, assuming that there is one. You can see a copy of Savage Knuckleblade in his hand. Looks like he also has another copy of Boon Satyr. Looks like he may be going towards Knuckleblade, and he is. Going to take 1, give it haste, beat downs, get you for 8.
Such an honest curve here from Anthony.
I don't think Savage Knuckleblade is an honest card.
It is super honest. Are you kidding me? It is really honest.
We have different definitions of honest then, I suppose. I'm not sure whose is correct. What is honest about the Knuckleblade?
It's a 3-color creature that just attacks and blocks.
It has 3 abilities.
They're all to help it attack and block.
That's true, actually. Here is an attack from Herald of Torment. Lowry going to take 3 more in the air. Cryder's going to gain a little bit of life.
No one feels cheated after they lose to a game to the Knuckleblade in Constructed. Draft may be a little different, but in Constructed, knock yourself out.
Bloodstone Champion does come down. Lowry's draw for the turn was a copy of Stubborn Nile. That's a delight. That one is turned on in multiple ways. With the Stormbreath Dragon in hand as well. You see the Boon Satyr as well. Maybe considering bestow action.
A lot of 5s in Anthony's hand. I'm sure he would ideally like to find a 4 here to line up alongside the Stubborn Denial.
Here's a copy of Hero's Downfall. And that will be denied. Sorry about that whammy. Stubborn Denial would have countered it no matter what.
Yep. No way to stop it.
Again, a 3 of in Lowry's deck this weekend. So looks like all this damage is going to come across. Of course, his Bloodstone Champion ain't going to do any blocking.
A little surprised there to see Anthony play that the way that he did. He could have tapped the Yavimaya Coast to Stubborn Denial, which would have allowed him to cast Ash Cloud Phoenix post-combat.
Sure.
By tapping the Bivouac here, he's forced to play Boon Satyr, which I think is better served in his hand as a trick instead of being deployed as a creature. The fact that the Ash Cloud Phoenix also blocks the Herald of Torment may complicate Thomas's turn quite a bit.
Here's an attack. 5 points damage is going to come across. Lowry's going to take some, and Cryder will gain some. Life totals do flip in reverse. There is Boon Satyr yet again. Looks like Cryder may have an effect here. There goes the Savage Knuckleblade. So Lowry will untap with his 2/4/2s, draws a copy of Frontier Bivouac. There's a Stormbreath Dragon. I believe, Patrick, that is Xaxes.
That was, and Anthony got pretty fortunate there to avoid a 5th land from Thomas because we were about to go back into the last year train with a Gray Merchant, I think, finishing things off.
Oof, that would have been nasty.
Throwback.
By the way, Anthony Lowry going to win game number 1 here with Team of Monsters over Timus Cryder. Playing Obs on aggro, we will take a look at Cryder's sideboard, which you have in front of you.
A Murderous Cut, another Whip of Erebos, a Bioblight, 2 Erase, 2 Suspension Field, 2 Utter End, 2 Erebos, God of the Dead, 4 Thoughtseize. Just more creature removal against this deck. The Suspension Field's great here. The Murderous Cut is good, and the Utter Ends as well. Not all the most efficient answers, but just more removal.
I've got some 2s and some 3s. 2 Disdainful Stroke, 2 Hornet's Nest, 3 Anger of the Gods, 3 Lightning Strikes, a Hornet Queen, a Clever Impersonator, a Search Dragonclaw, a Destructive Revelry, and a copy of Hunt the Hunter. That one will not be coming in. I can promise you that. Disdainful Stroke, you actually didn't really see any targets for that outside the Whip of Erebos, so I can't imagine that's going to be coming in. We saw Thomas go to the skies, so Hornet's Nest doesn't seem all that appealing. I guess Lightning Strike is just an easy place to start.
Well, Lightning Strike and Anger of the Gods, they're going to be good no matter what. The Hornet's Nest depends exactly what you think Thomas is up to. You did see Bloodstone Champion, which implies some stream of early creatures, even though Thomas didn't happen to draw them. So Hornet's Nest may or may not come in. And I think the Destructive Revelry will come in as well because these black aggro decks have so many bestow creatures. It can kill Herald of Torment, and Bloodstone Champion usually implies there's other things like that going on. So I think the Revelry can come in as well. You also saw Whip of Erebos too.
This is true. This is true. We will take a look at our good friend Mr. Ooze here, now available at StarCityGames.com.
Yes, so we come out with these StarCityGames.com creature collection tokens. This is the latest edition here. 2 copies are given away every time you enter a Legacy Open. Also, we have playmats, deck boxes, dice bags, sleeves. You can get these over at the website or come to our dealer booth at any Open or Grand Prix Star City Games is at.
I like the Ooze.
The Ooze is fun.
I'm a big fan of the Ooze. We'll see what we have next year. That's in the works.
Dissolving some skeletons over there.
Well, that's fine.
High-fiving each other.
What are they supposed to do? Not dissolve skeletons?
Yeah, I guess you're right. That is kind of that is kind of what they do.
Yep. That's how they eat.
Exactly.
You have to eat.
It's not their fault.
Now available at StarCityGames.com. This game number 2 will be underway here in just a moment. Teamer is picking up in popularity. A couple Grand Prix top 8s. Kibler just missed out in Los Angeles. And it's starting to get the ball rolling a little bit with this archetype. I know Brian's happy about it, and Lowry has experienced quite a bit of success as well with these large creatures.
I think the only really, really rough matchup for this deck, game 1 at least, is against the boss slide derivatives. This deck just can't protect itself early enough. So much of its resources allocated to attacking. It's not really that good at blocking. But if you can clean up that matchup post-board, I think this deck can be very, very good.
And the numbers here for Lowry: 4 copies of Eldritch Mystic and 4 copies of Rattleclaw Mystic, so 8 Mana Accelerants, 3 copies of Air of the Wilds, 3 Boon Satyrs playing a huge role in the last game, 4 Savage Knuckleblades, 2 copies of Polygynous World Eater, 3 Ash Cloud Phoenix, and 4 Stormbreath Dragons, so able to get in the skies, and then the one of Surrak Dragonclaw that I imagine most opponents won't see coming.
I would be surprised by it too. One more on the board too.
Yeah, got that hideout on the board. And of course the spells, as we did mention at the top of game number 1, 3 copies of Crater's Claws, 3 Teamer Charms, and 3 copies of Stubborn Niles. They throw in some lands, you're good to go.
A lot of decks will be going to Disdainful Stroke against you post-board. You have so many 4s and 5s that Surrak is a nice threat to have access to. I wouldn't want too many of them, but 1 or 2 I think can do good work against a lot of the blue decks post-board.
If you are just joining us, it is Cedric Phillips and Patrick Sullivan along with Nick Miller in the sideboard. At SCG Live, hashtag SCGCOL for your tweets, as we are in Columbus, Ohio, round number 3 of 11. Yes, 11, 757 players doing battle here. Fantastic turnout. We do thank all the players in attendance. Expect to see a similarly large turnout tomorrow for our Legacy Open and our Modern Premier IQ as well.
You think we're looking at a 10-rounder tomorrow for Legacy?
I would not be surprised. Not at all. We got a long weekend of work in front of us.
I believe it.
But I don't mind it. I can talk about Magic forever, and we will today. That's for sure. 11 rounds of action. We'll figure out who's going to be elimination rounds tomorrow morning, starting, of course, at 8 a.m. East Coast time. Maybe it is Anthony Lowry, who is quietly sneaking up the Open Series leaderboard, sitting in 28th place right now for season number 4. 81 Open Series points off the back of a lot of work of IQs. He's found a deck that he likes. He's winning with it. He's off to a nice start this weekend.
Still waiting for a breakthrough performance on the Open Series.
Yeah. He is too.
Yeah.
And he knows it. See, both players going to keep their opening hands. The Caves of Coelus is how Cryder will start. Lowry with a bivouac, and he will just pass the turn over to Cryder, who will draw. His second turn starts with the Manic Influence. The follow-up, Cryder will take a little bit of damage here from his lands. The Spiteful returned.
And this is sort of the giveaway that Thomas is playing a very aggressive list and simply had a bad draw in that respect the last game.
It does make you wonder if Lowry maybe shifted his deck around when he saw the Bloodstone Champion, know that he is playing against a more aggressive strategy. Lowry going to play a Rattleclaw Mystic and just pass the turn back over to Cryder, who will untap and draw very quickly. Spiteful returned, ready to start attacking, you have to imagine.
It's what it does. Not much of a blocker for numerous reasons.
This is true. Will Lowry make a trade here is the question. He does have a Rattleclaw Mystic that allows him to ramp. Oh, it is a 2/1 creature. It looks like he will trade. He's down 18 from the Spiteful Return's trigger. There's another copy of Manic Influence, so Cryder's going to take 2 more points of damage. And it's a Master of the Feast.
This threat's pretty good against Teamer.
Yes,
They don't have
it is.
spot removal.
Yeah.
I mean, their answers are things like Teamer Charm and Cryder's Claws, which is not that efficient. This is a card that got a lot of hype initially, although it looks like Anthony has drawn his one sideboarded Destructive Revelry, which is a bit of a bummer.
That is timely. Very timely.
But in the abstract, this threat seems pretty well suited to fighting Teamer.
Even beats all the flyers. So here's Whip of Erebos. That's going to, oh my God, this is a good turn. That's going to be stubbornly denied. And now there will be some revelry. That is a very good turn by Anthony Lowry.
Rough turn for Thomas.
Yeah.
Rough turn.
Yeah. His 1-of Whip is in the bin, and his creature is dead, and Anthony got to draw a card.
And 2 of his lands are Mana Confluence against a deck that can start attacking.
There's a land, but no follow-up there from Lowry. Cryder, he's got a Herald of Torment. That will resolve. Lowry will draw a card. He looks like he's drawing quite a few lands at this point. Going to play Yavimaios, just past the turn back. I think he's got all lands and just one spell at this point. Maybe a Crater's Claws or a Lightning Strike. Here's an attack.
Given all the work that Thomas has done on himself here, just a couple burn spells might be able to finish out this game, even if Anthony never deploys a single creature.
And Lowry's actually looking at Lightning Strike right now and has no interest in actually sending that. So there's a world that exists where Cryder might get locked out of casting spells here because those 2 copies of Mana Confluence. We can't forget one of those lands as well is a Caves of Koilos.
And a Herald of Torment ticking away on him too.
Lightning Strike is going upstairs, puts you down to 6. Untap and draw, Storm Breath Dragon. There's also a Crater's Claws there. Yep, there's Crater's Claws. That's going to be for 5. That'll put you down to 1. This is what's called the hardest of locks.
Yep.
Untap, upkeep, so trigger. So that's going to do it. Anthony Lowry going to win this match over Thomas Cryder, 2-0. Teamer Monsters going to move on to 3-0. Cryder will pick up his first loss with his Obzon aggro deck. And for Lowry, a player who still does not have an Open Series top 8, something that's been eluding him for some time. He knows it. He's been looking to get it. This will be one way to earn it here in the 11-round Open in Columbus.
For sure. And the lesson there, those lands, they aren't free.
No, they're not.
You want to put Siege Rhino into your, Blood-Soaked Champion deck? Going to pay some costs.